Today on Female Filmmakers Fuse on location, we found ourselves in downtown LA, the Art District, at an event called Sawubona, Women of Courage, for the organization Youth Mentoring Connection.
My name is Sasha Speer, and welcome to Sawubona, Women of Courage, Part 2, The Wheel.
There were a few things that we noticed during this event, mainly the greeting Sawubona, and second, the healing process through the medicine wheel. We first asked, what is Sawubona?
Sawubona is a Zulu word. It means I see you. In a group, it actually can mean we see you. It's kind of become a common greeting, but the origins are Zulu for I see you. And the idea is that we're not here to watch you. We're here to witness deeply the beauty that you carry inside of you, the gifts that you carry inside of you. Invite you to go into those wounds because that's how you access the gifts. And we see that part of you. We see the person who has the strength inside to go through the struggles and have the gifts inside that the world needs you to bring forth. So all of that in one little word. You know, most youth work is done with 8 words. If you do this, then you'll get that. They have to know consequences. It's something that we have to deal with, but it's not imaginative and it doesn't inspire deep healing. So instead of a behavior, in fact, instead of the behavioral approach where we look at their misbehavior and we try to fix it, we look at the misbehavior and in the sense of Sawubona, we're saying, what gift do we see in even the misbehavior? So a kid who's acting up and stealing all the attention in a workshop, we might have a leader. So instead of removing them from the workshop, we ask them to come up in front and help us lead it and see if that awakens the gift. So that's Sawubona is kind of the gateway into what we call the gift-centered approach.
Now that we understand what Sawubona means, now we want to know what the medicine wheel is.
So the medicine wheel, it guides the process. So we will actually walk the wheel with our young ladies and our young men and have them kind of identify where they're at in their wheel. And you walk it for whatever you want. You could walk it for a career, you could walk it for a relationship, you could walk it for the healing you need from something that's happened. But even without actually having to physically walk it with them, our staff knows the process. So if we're stuck on how to guide a youth in a certain area, first question I'll ask is, where are they on the wheel? So if they're in the West, then we know that we have to hold space for them to go through the struggle. We have to help them get down into the depths of the wound so that they can find their gifts and then come out from it. And only then can the woundings that they suffer make enough sense so that they're no longer a victim to it, but they found a way to turn it into their power, their gateway to their gifts. And now forgiveness is possible. So that's, if we don't know how to help a kid and, he just started college. Okay, well, then they're in the East, and what do you do in the East? How do you hold somebody in the East? And the gateway to moving along is teacher. And so who's going to mentor them in the ways of succeeding in college? Because most kids that go to college from the hood, really struggle. It's such a culture shock. So I could go on and on.
We asked Sasha Marie Speer, who advocated and was the creator behind today's event, what her goal was for this evening.
Yeah, and I'm going to break that into two parts, as a human and as an artist, right? As a human, I really wanted people to feel love and connection, and to feel seen, right, as part of that tonight. As an artist, I wanted people to understand the varying layers that there is in getting to that place, right? And really, I wanted the individual to be able to realize their own power, their own strength, and their own vulnerability, because I think so many of us in our culture, we're not allowed to be vulnerable, especially, we're not allowed to be vulnerable, there's no time. We're supposed to just be strong and just power through, but that doesn't work, and that has us repeat cycles, that has us feel in places of despair, it has us feel like we're alone more than anything. And so I really wanted to show that as an artist, and I wanted people to be able to have the opportunity to discover that on their own. So I designed this in a way where it's very different than how it was designed, because there's logistical issues. I'm going to be honest, a couple nights ago we set up the show, which is what I had designed as an artist, and it wouldn't work because it would have taken up this entire space and we couldn't have an event. And so from that, it's like, okay, what do we do? And so collectively, we put it off into a smaller room, and we brought everything together, and it's a very different show as far as the key elements of like the medicine wheel exhibit that I created. But it's okay, because we wanted to make sure Youth Mentoring Connection could raise money and that people could be seen and heard and connect, right? So it's finding that balance. Also, like in the art, I think art is something I didn't understand for a long time. I was an artist from the time I was young. I had a gift and people nurtured me. And I just kind of was like, okay, you say do this, I'll do this. I didn't really understand what I was doing. Now I'm in a place where I feel something and it emotes, and I'm like, whatever the rules are, I don't care. This is what I'm creating. I'm in a very different space. And I see that like art has the power to transcend words. It has the power to transcend like basic concepts. When we can transmit a feeling, we can transmit something that is like existential through an image. It lives beyond like anything you and I can express in any other medium, in my opinion. And you can look at a photo like this woman. I don't need to tell you her story. You see her soul. And there's something you're going to gain from that. Her story is irrelevant because there's something you're going to gain from that. And there's something you're going to see yourself in her in a certain way. It's your interpretation of that that's going to get it. If I told you like her story, okay, fine, it's powerful. This is far more powerful. And so I hope to bring that and to meld that together in order to really like raise awareness about what Youth Mentoring Connection does, because they get deep, they get real. But also put that layer of like, but the real too is we all need money, right, to survive. They need money as organizations to survive. How do we do that? And have people feel something. And I think we did that tonight.
We asked others what they thought of this tremendous event.
Well, we have to do fundraisers. You know, our culture doesn't support its youth, so organizations like ours have to step in and raise funds so that we can offer the kind of healing, you know, support that so many kids, you know, need. We estimate that about 85% of the girls who come through our doors have been abused. Not all sexually, but, you know, and not necessarily all physically, but definitely qualified as trauma, you know. So there's a huge need and there's not enough resources. So we do events to raise money, and we like to combine the work with the event. So this one was celebrating 10 of our young women who've gone through the healing process. And you're always healing from the kinds of wounds these kids suffer, but they've gotten far enough along in the process where they can actually start claiming their life. The abuse or the wound or whatever it is doesn't define them anymore. And we call that initiation. And the last step of initiation is being welcomed back as the person who you now know yourself to be by a community. And that's usually guided by mentors and elders. So we brought women of courage and accomplishment who've been through their own stuff. If you're a woman in this culture, you've already, you know, have to overcome. And then we know some of their stories. So they could come and stand in for the mentor and elder that everyone needs. Now, every one of our young ladies in our program has their own mentor too. So several of the women that were honored tonight have been mentors and are still mentors in our program. And and you saw them. They're just amazing, accomplished leaders.
I think it's awesome. Not too many nonprofits are looked at as the amazing organizations that they are. They really do work. I'm a witness to it. So I think what they're doing is great.
So what brought me to the event tonight is I've for many years been a supporter of Youth Mentoring Connection. It started with me looking out my kitchen window one day and seeing Tony with a group of young people in his backyard in the middle of a drumming circle. And that was my initial introduction. Years have gone by and my son, my own family, and I have participated in the surfing program. And so I've watched the program kind of evolve and morph. But most importantly, I have seen firsthand outside of my own front door the young people that Tony and the volunteers, the mentors, have touched in a profound and meaningful way. And I, of course, want to always be a part of making positive, impactful change in my own community. And that's why I'm here tonight.
Well, I really fell in love with the work that Youth Mentoring Connection Tony was doing with the girls. I really see girls and boys. I really love that they're taking time to mentor kids through a period of time, actually seeing them grow and change. And I've seen the work and all of the positive results of the work that they've been doing. And I wanted to align my foundation, which is me, Sanaa Lathan Foundation, with it, because my foundation is all about kind of uplifting and giving back to kids who are, underserved. And so it's very much in line with my passion in terms of my foundation. And so I just told them I just want to be a part of whatever you guys do. I want to raise awareness. I want to raise funds because you can't do this work without funds. And I'm really happy to MC tonight and take part in the medicine wheel. I've never taken part before, and I'm excited to be a part of that. I feel like so many people kind of focus on the pain of what happens to us in life without a solution. And Tony and Youth Mentoring, they're focusing on the healing and how to get to the healing, which is so necessary once you realize the pain.
Well, and I think that it's an issue that the way they've promoted it and what they're doing is really starting to take traction, and people are attracted. Like, we need to find a way to really elevate women, and especially women, and empower them that have had, these experiences, and make them feel, powerful in themselves. And so this is something I think we've all been looking for, this sort of outlet, and to support women and have women mentors. So it's a program that allows everybody to participate in it, which is really beautiful.
I think it's amazing. One of the biggest things that I love about it is that they utilize different cultures and they pull in whatever resources they need in order to help people. And I'm all about like self-love and self-awareness and really figuring out who you are. So this program to me is just so beautiful because they do the work. They're actually doing the work.
We were curious to know more about Youth Mentoring Connection, so we asked those that attended, including the mentors and the mentees.
What's different from my perspective about this organization versus other mentoring organizations, Tony said it tonight around the medicine wheel, is that they stay in the young person's life for as long as they need to be. So it's not a big brothers, big sisters where, and you got 1 year to connect with your mentor and that's it. And so they are building meaningful, sustainable relationships, and that's what makes a difference in any of our lives.
Honestly, this is my first time. I just became a mentor for YMA, which I work for Tony LaRoe and Huli. It's just been an amazing experience. I didn't know what to expect or the impact that it was going to have on me as a mentor. I think I can take so much back for the mentees And I just became more aware that there's so many programs, so many outlets out there that I wasn't even aware of. So I am going to use all this to be a better mentor.
Well, before I met YMC, before I joined the mentoring program, I was kind of shelved off, closed, didn't really speak, traumatized, didn't really like to be out there. And then I went to my first retreat, and it was a safe haven for young women where other women around me were speaking and they were going through similar things, and they let me know, hey, this is a place where I can come, I can feel safe, and I can let things off my chest without feeling judged or feeling like someone's going to go back and tell my parents. So once I realized that it was a sacred space and that I can trust these people, I stuck with them ever since. And I've seen the program work. I've seen so many women like myself go through the program, really take advantage of it, and our lives turned around for the better.
Part of the event honored 10 amazing women. It was a deeply impacting moment.
So being honored tonight, you know, the emotion started at the very beginning, meeting with Sasha, having your picture taken, not really knowing how it was going to be used, but realizing that it was a different kind of photo session. So for me, as a woman of courage, being recognized, it started then, and to continue through the whole process, to be matched, not really matched. It was a happenstance that I was connected with my mentee for the evening, Verena. And to hear, as we talked and got to know each other, the things that we have in common and some common kind of goals and visions for ourselves that we share was really profound. So for me, the evening has been powerful, emotional, and I hope Youth Mentoring Connection raised a truckload of money, because that's what it's all about.
My mother has, you know, her whole life, she's worked in prisons, she's been a teacher for inner city youth throughout her whole life. She's given back so much, and so it's a thrill to see her honored, because she's done so much work and hasn't gotten any shine or, you know, any thanks other than the actual gratitude that she gets from her students and her kids. So I'm so happy to be here to cheer her on.
So each of our honorees tonight is receiving a book that was made especially for them. Please show the cover.
Wow.
Okay, so I met Sasha when she was doing the photography project for this event. I was one of the girls that she photographed, and during the photograph session, I just realized that it was more than what I thought it was, and I was just super interested in finding out about it. And she was so passionate that I was like, I need to know more, and that's what got me here. I like had to double take, like, wait a second, was that really my face? And so I was just like, I was really humbled and like even honored, because starting this and being a part of it, like I was just happy to be a part of it in a small way. And then to see my face had been painted by an incredible artist for hours and hours and hours was just really like humbling. And I don't know, it's surreal still a little bit.
We found it tremendous to find other organizations in attendance, because they wanted to link with Youth Mentoring Connection, because they had like minds and goals.
Part of what I'm doing is trying to connect this program with other programs, so that there's like this sort of collaboration and collective. I have a friend here who runs the Red Tent, and she's wanting to do something with the young women and get involved and bring them into this whole program that she does. So it's really about, my role is more about bringing people together, and being supportive. And really the strength of anything is the team and the collaboration and the support that you get from others.
Professionally, I'm a marriage and family therapist, and one of the things that I have created is the Red Tent Los Angeles for women. And it's for women that are going through their monthly cycles. So we gather together every new moon, and I'm here because I would like to really offer that to the girls as a way, as a resource for being embodied and accessing their voice and their power and the education that happens through this monthly cycle to live in rhythm with the cycles of our body as an organic anchoring point that's very, very grounding.
You know, for me, we're coming into a new era where we're really understanding that we have to sort of come in this sort of joining together and move forward with all the issues, because when you talk about women and abuse to women, you're also talking about the type of abuse to nature and earth, and so they're all interconnected.
Yeah, I really feel that when women connect with, we meet at the new moon, and so that's like a time around the world that women take time out to really be quiet, and that there's a sense of acknowledging what happened during the last 28 days. What can you celebrate? What are we letting go? It's like a 4-stage process. And then sitting in the silence of the emptiness of the dark of the moon, and then being able to create an intention for the next 28 days. And when you do that with a community, you're really able to support each other with that vision. And so we're all about calling out each other's superpowers, and we're all about it's safe to shine, it's safe to be vulnerable. Sexual health and wellness, embodiment, empowerment, these are the values that we teach and that we share.
We asked, what advice do you have for others?
When you are doing well, when you are not, we will always have our hand in the center of your back. So trust women.
It would be to hold on, you know. No one promised life will be easy, but it's worth it, you know. Tough times are meant to make you stronger, you know. Don't bend, don't break, just go with it. Find a good support system and a good group of positive friends and people. Surround yourself with them and you'll get through it. I did.
So when I just received my award, my presentation, my beautiful presentation, we were asked to give one piece of advice to all the young people who were here. I had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And turned 54. So, you know, to hear myself say advice to the young people is like, am I really that old? But I guess I am. And so what I said was, very simply, you are enough. I think young women, we get, not young women, all women are consistently fed messages that we're not enough, that we're not pretty enough, we're not thin enough, we're not smart enough, we're not whatever enough. And 54 years now on the planet, I have concluded that I am enough. And I want them to know that as well.
This event was memorable. It exceeded any expectations we could have possibly had. With that being said, we highly recommend you donate, volunteer, or do whatever it is you can do for the Youth Mentoring Connection. You can find them at youthmentoring.org.
So full. There's nothing but love right now, like so much love, and I think that I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. I want to see love more often than like disregard or hate or any of that other thing. I want to see love as the default.
My name is Tony LaRae. I founded Youth Mentoring Connection 17 years ago and haven't looked back since. Sold a business to do that. Found my life working with these young people. So thank you for having me. Sawubona.